Hi, everybody. It's Stacy Sobel from Salon Today Conversations. And today I have two special guests. I have Liz and Jess Arrindell with Luscious Co in Connecticut. Hi, guys.
Hi, thanks for having us.
And if you think you're seeing double, they are twins. Liz is on the left and Jess is on the right. So you guys started in an interesting way. You started as a mobile bridal business.
We did. So a little over 10 years ago, we had this passion project that we couldn't deny anymore. We had corporate jobs and we decided to start helping brides on the weekends because it was something we had played with years before, but we just wanted a little bit of joy, a little more joy in our life. So we started helping brides on the road, and it was a very small crew. It was us and two others, and we would travel throughout the tri-state just helping brides. And we were really living the good life, enjoying the road and meeting new people. And it took a few years, but we decided that we would open a small brick and mortar about 3 years after that venture.
And now that's taking you to develop an extension specialty, which is what kind of we're going to dive into today. But that's really the strength of your business right now and what sets you apart in your market.
Yeah, it's interesting because there was a time where we just needed extensions to help these brides, and we did not realize what a floodgate that would open once we did so. But over the years, and having now quite a large salon with a lot of stylists, it's been such an opportunity to differentiate our business in a market full of other salons, to where we are really known as a specialty business.
Now you're just about to open a second location, which is great. Great news that your business is going strong. But not everybody in the business is an extension specialist. I don't know, is it half and half?
Yeah, it's a good dynamic of about half and half. The extension specialists are those that started out just being colorists and traditional stylists, and over the years in our business decided to take just a little bit on at a time. So over the course of years, like any other specialist, it all started with just one client after the other until they found themselves exclusively offering extension services.
So what kind of characteristics or attributes do you think makes for a good extension specialist?
I think there's the obvious, which is very detail oriented, the ability to have a really strong consultation, being very knowledgeable in color and undertone and hair health. But then there's the other side of it, which is discovered through the process. And some of our best artists are those that are able to really pay that attention to their customer, but apply that same focus to the prep work. Because a lot goes into a beautiful head of extensions before the customer even shows up. Someone that is able to have hard conversations with customers. It is a miracle product in a sense. You're leaving with one thing and you're coming in with one thing and you're leaving with another, but a lot of hard conversations go into that. A lot of, before we can do that, we have to do this. And so I would say the best of the best are able to have those real connections with their customers in knowing this is a journey. It's not just a destination.
Now, that kind of gives you an interesting perspective as an owner to watch their career trajectory. What's kind of the difference in the ability to make money as a traditional stylist and colorist versus someone who's specializing in extensions? Is there a difference?
There really is. And what's so interesting about that is we're very data focused, which has allowed us to really focus on the extension side of our business, because there's a lot that goes into knowing the difference between the investment on the side of making money and then the side of productivity. So we have, it's a good comparison. We have two leaders in our business, one on the color side and one on the extension side. And they're not exclusively doing those things, but that's predominantly what they're doing. They both are on track to earn right around $150,000 this year. One of them this year so far has seen about 600 customers. That's the extension specialist. The other one has seen close to 800 customers. and that's the color specialist. And so when we're not even looking at money and revenue, how they're spending their time in the salon, one has to see a big chunk of customers more than the other, because it's not as high valued in tickets. So they're having to double book, and they're having to see
Work harder.
Right, more customers. But what's very interesting from the actual data side is, if you look at those two people and they both earn the same amount of money, obviously one works less, but their client retention is different also. So the extension specialists retain a little over 94% of their business.
Wow.
The color specialists fall a little bit under that. So there's definitely that loyalty involved when you're looking at being an extension specialist. The other side of that is the frequency of visits. So if you were to look at 12 weeks worth of customers, our extension specialists see their customers about 3.5 times every 12 weeks. Our color specialists only see their customer 2 times in 12 weeks. And so there's a big side of being able to work smarter and not harder when extensions come into play, especially when it involves someone that says, I want a little bit more work-life balance. I only really need to do 1 to 2 clients a day. I don't need to see 6. So to each its own, but our extension experts are really able to say, I'm only helping this many people today, and I'm able to maximize other things like revenue on the retail side, making sure that my average ticket is staying up here. So lastly, our extension experts do about $600 per ticket. Our color experts do right around $350 a ticket. So there's a big difference between the two.
Which also means that extensions client is a lot more valuable to your business as well.
Very much. The extension clients really turn into raving fans. And what we've figured out over the years is that obviously they love their hair, but because we have to see them so often, they're really falling in love with the process and the people. And it's not just them loving their hair. So they become very indebted to the business, and they enjoy the process. And in turn, they're telling other people how much they love it. So it really is a big source of our referrals and our reviews, but they really are such a big part of our business.
So you're also creating ambassadors for the salon along the way.
Absolutely.
Now you guys use Great Lengths. Talk about the education process for someone who is starting out in extensions. How do they get into it? What kind of education is available? And why did you go with Great Lengths in your salon? That's a long question, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. We're happy to answer it. We are very transparent business people, and I think one of the biggest parts of our business now is wanting to help other business owners discover solutions without going down long, dark hallways alone, which is what we had to do in the discovery process. So before we partnered with Great Lengths, we worked with other bonded methods, ones that were also in that healthy hair category. But what we noticed in that process was that we got a lot of restrictions. So like we would tell a customer, I know you're gonna love this, but you have to wash this way, and you can't do that, and you can't use this, and you have to sleep like that. And you can love your hair, but you also, it's hard to ditch your lifestyle. With Great Lengths, we found them because the number one and most important thing that we considered was, where's the hair coming from? And there's no other extension business on the market that is promotably ethically sourced. And they tell you this is where the hair is coming from. We put our gold seal of approval on the process. They stand behind their product. And so we said, I think we need to look into this method. So we sent out at a time 2 stylists every time they had an education. And we flew them out to Florida. Some of them went to New York, but it's a 2-day process, and it covers everything. They cover all the way from the history of the company and extensions in a whole, through installation, business support. And so as 2 at a time kept coming back to the salon being certified, the support we got from them from a business owner perspective was by far the best we've ever gotten from any company we've worked with in the extension business. I mean, to the point where we talk through text, and the trainer does these quick FAQs and helps us develop ways we can become even more digitally inclusive for our customers. And so by far from start to where we now are in our business with Great Lengths, it has really continued to set apart our business as an extension salon. So I can't say enough good things about Great Lengths. I really can't.
That's great. Let's talk about inventory, because as a salon owner, you have to worry about the inventory of the hair and everything. Do you keep a surplus in stock in case a client randomly wants to throw in a few extensions, or do you order what they need when they have the first consultation?
That's a great question. We, over the years, have really found that to have a strong competitive advantage, carrying in-stock hair is the way to go. That gives us the capability of doing quite a few different things. One is the clients who come to see us really want extensions, but some of them have no experience. They don't know what it would feel like or look like. So this gives us the opportunity to give clients kind of like a try-on option where we can put a few strands in, let them go home and kind of get a feel of what a full idea would look like. The second aspect is that our extension specialists are really creative at blending their own shades. So by us we carry about 26 shades in stock between 18 and 20 inches. And that really gives our extension specialists tools that they can pull right from our in-stock inventory to create beautiful custom blends and creations. We also do special order. So if a client wants curly hair or a shade that we don't have in stock, that option is there. And we can have the hair overnighted. We can have it for whenever their custom appointment is. But in-stock hair has really given us the tools to give that a competitive advantage to our guests.
So who is the target market in your business for extensions? What does that client look like? Who is she?
Yeah, so over the years, we've really categorized two types of clients. The first client is someone like myself who doesn't really want to have obvious extensions. It's really a nice, healthy fill, but it's more for volume, and they leave the salon looking like they have very healthy, natural hair. The second side of that is a client who's really looking for a full transformation. This client is looking for long, thick hair, even sometimes adding in a lot of different dimension with extensions. So no need for heavy use of bleach or color to their natural hair. They can do that using extensions. And those are kind of like the two types of clients that come to us looking for extensions.
Great. So what does that first consultation look like? What does your team go over with that client and the expectations of what it's like to have extensions?
We designed over the years an extension design room, and not to say that everyone needs that, but what we found was that customers want to see what the hair will look like before the hair goes into the head. And that could be for a lot of salon owners something as simple as just getting a mannequin head and doing a blunt cut and doing just a few rows of different shapes and size bottoms, so that the consultation is a very customized process. And we're able to showcase Great Lengths individual size options and the shape options. Some are round and some are flat, and there's specific reasons for that. So the guest comes in, they sit down in the consultation room, we have the methods out, we have the colorings out, and we start by asking very specific questions about their lifestyle, some concerns that they might have about their hair, and then we cover what their vision might be. Once we go through that and we map out what we think would work best for them, we create a digital quote form, which shows them the total investment, but also what to expect over the course of 6 months and 12 months, because we're really trying to capture our customers' long-term business and not just a one-time deal. The customer agrees to the terms on their digital quote. They get a copy emailed to them. We keep a copy for our own records. And for a lot of guests, especially now, I mean, we've seen a big change in business from post-pandemic consumer behaviors. We offer a financing option to any guest that finds this to be unapproachable financially. And we do that right on the spot. So customers that are kind of on the fence, if they're considering it going through financing, they go through that portion. We then grab the hair. If it can be a same day appointment, we'll do so. If it's within the week or the month, we pull the hair, we put it aside, and then we visit the installation as a separate service.
So do you book them? Do you charge them once a month? How does that work when they do that with the financing?
financing, it's broken into 4 payments. There's a lot of financing options. It's not something the salon has to host. So in other words, speaking to other salon owners, if we were to take on the brunt of financing our customers, if the customer stopped paying, the salon would never receive the funds needed to cover the hair cost and the installation. So there are many different companies that will finance the customer on your behalf. The funds are immediately paid to you from the financing company, and then the customer pays the financing company directly. So it really separates you from the financing company and really helps close that small percentage of deals where otherwise the customer might say, I'm not sure I can afford this. So it's really helped our customers find these solutions to be affordable for them as it breaks down payments.
Well, that's also nice for the client that reneges on it, and you don't have to go chasing them down. The financing company does.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So what does your team, I know there is at-home care that needs to be required for extensions. How does your team educate clients on that part?
We touch on it during the consultation, so there's no surprise what's required of the customer after the hair has been put in. After the hair has been put in at the installation appointment, the team spends about 20-30 minutes going through a post-care virtual guide. So we have iPads, and we literally just go through it and we say, let's talk about washing, products, when to brush, how to brush. The beauty of Great Lengths is that there really isn't a lot of restrictions. It's probably the brand we use that has the least bit of restrictions when it comes to living with extensions, but there's still information needed after the hair goes in. We do see all of our customers 7 days later for what's called a 7-day follow-up. It's a complimentary service. It's only 10 minutes. We check in over the phone through our coordinator just to confirm everything's good before she gets here. So if we need more time, we can establish that beforehand. But that gives us the opportunity to answer any questions that might not have come up between installation and then seeing her again several weeks later. So we're really trying to cover all bases when she's here, but if we didn't, or if she has concerns or questions, that usually happens within the first week.
Now you've been able to kind of study we talked about loyalty before, but you've been able to study what that client loyalty looked like after coming back from the pandemic. What differences did you see between your typical extensions clients and your cut and color clients?
I think a lot of other salon owners will agree when I say, I think we were all hoping for the best during the pandemic, but then the phone started ringing and then the emails started coming in and no one knew how long that would take. Some of our our color customers couldn't wait for us. And so they resorted to other options like box coloring or ordering like a custom kit online. And to be truthful, some of those customers never came back. They found value in being able to do that on their own. But our extension customers all came back. We didn't lose a single customer. We checked in every couple of weeks with them, depending on what they had and how long they had it, just to do like a virtual check-in. Like, how's everything looking? How long has it been? Like, what are your concerns? And as soon as we reopened for business, our extension customers were the first ones lined up. They didn't care how much it cost, how long it would take. They needed their hair taken out and put back in. Because what we found throughout the last several years is that once the hair is put in, you really love having it in. I mean, these women love having the length or the thickness depending on why they have it. And so having to consider not having that anymore is very hard for a lot of people. And so the beauty of the pandemic was that it just solidified that we're moving in the right direction with these customers and that they really value their services with us. I would realistically say that even now, the first thing our customers will say, depending on where you are, COVID cases keep like doing one of these, and they'll say, if it goes down again, can we talk about when I can come back in for my hair? And that's like, it's the one thing they keep asking us is it's like, are we good to go? If we're going to close, will you let us know? So it really has created a lot of loyalty in the business.
So they're actually looking for a potential another closure so that they can make sure that they get their hair done before that happens. That's great.
Like, can you give us notice?
It kind of depends on your governor and how much notice you get, right?
Right, exactly.
Now, you both are going to be speaking at Data Driven for Salon Today. And so we've had a chance to talk about some of the interesting data you've looked at with your extensions business. Can you share a few more things?
Yeah, I would love to. So our business is really broken down into those that love and do extensions, primarily full-time, and those who don't. We have a few stylists that dabble, but for those that love doing extensions, they've really found a business for themselves exclusively offering extensions. So I think the most interesting fact, after having done this really predominantly for the last 5 years or so, is that 20% of our revenue for the year comes from extensions alone. And of those extensions, many customers will come in and they'll say, I already have a colorist. I just want the hair put in. I'm going to go back to my colorist. But we retain over 80% of those extension customers color-wise. And so we are really able to capture this audience and then further capture more business that we didn't initially expect. And total between color that we didn't initially forecast from these extension customers and their extension business, they contribute close to 40% total in our yearly revenue model.
Wow.
And that's a big deal for our business because it really is, it's a model that breeds success, not just from a revenue perspective, but in an era where capturing new employees can be very difficult right now. This is an interesting time to be a business owner. A lot of stylists that come to us wanting to work for us are really looking to work for us because of our partnerships with companies like Great Lengths. They want to have a foundation in extensions and don't know how to do that. So it does make us a good amount of revenue, but it also helps set us apart from our competitors and also get that employee base that a lot of people right now are looking for. So I think those are probably the 3 most important things to consider as an extension salon or an extension specialist. But the one thing I will say is a lot of business owners that we even consult with and talk to will say, it's going to take me so long to get to where you are. But it all starts with one customer. It all starts with one relationship or one training. And
one little application. It all starts with one thing.
The best time to do that was yesterday. The second best time is today, but it's definitely a time to consider this now in 2021.
Well, I love that you thought beyond just that extensions client and what she's paying on the day of her service. The fact that she comes to see you initially for extensions, but then she gravitates to you for color and cut and other services. And the fact that now it's also helping you attract and retain employees, which is the biggest pain point for owners right now.
Totally. I think too, the last thing I do want to mention is that as beauty professionals, we all know that it's up to the customer to love their hair, right? If they're not buying the right products, if they're not taking care of it, chances are they're not going to love it so much within a certain time frame. But with extensions, we call it an insurance package. And in our case, with Great Lengths, they have a wet line, and it covers pretty much anything anyone would need for their hair. So we custom prescribe these products and these tools and brushes and whatnot. And because they're using these products exclusively, we know it's protecting their extensions, people stay loving their hair. So we don't get those like, my hair's this and it was great then, but it's not great now. And so we get really good reviews, we get really good referrals, but it's because the whole process encapsulates raving fans. It literally breeds success. So across the board, I think even if customers don't want extensions, they're reading all of these great reviews, they're seeing all these beautiful pictures, and we're getting their color business. So it covers a lot of bases.
Well, and the one thing that I love that you guys do is that, the success of them loving their hair depends on what their expectations are up front and that they understand them. If they didn't understand the cost and the maintenance up front, and I imagine you go through some consultations when you do lay that all out there and people decide it's not right for them.
Absolutely.
But making that, having them make that commitment up front really lays it out and gets their buy-in on everything.
Absolutely. It's an investment, and it really can change some lives, but being as transparent as possible through the process means customers will respect what they're paying for, and they do. And you know what, for people that don't, it's not the right fit for them, and we respect that too. But laying it out there is the least we can do for a customer.
I love that. Well, Liz, Jess, thank you so much. This has been really educational, and I hope it inspires some people to look at extensions as a new service model to add to their salon.
Definitely, definitely. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.